Hello and welcome back to the Pittsburgh Thrills YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk about areas where Kennywood can build a new roller coaster. I'm going to go over 3 areas that wouldn't involve removing anything else, and 2 areas that would require removing something and or will be just kind of wild card guesses. The first plot of land I want to talk about is the area between Fam's Revenge's Lift Hill and the straight section. This plot of land actually has quite a bit of space, and it's only ever been used really for picnic bench storage. I think that they should add a small-scale gravity group coaster. This could be one of a few models. I could see them building a shuttle coaster, like Switchback at ZDT's amusement park. I could see them building a thrill coaster, like something like Mind Blower at Fun Spot Kissimmee. Or I could see them building a family coaster, like Roarosaurus at Storyland. Speaking of Roarosaurus, that shows that Palace Entertainment is willing to work with the Gravity Group, since Storyland is also owned by Palace Entertainment. I could see this happening as soon as 2024. Kennywood needs a new wooden coaster. Their newest wooden coaster is from 1968, and that was a conversion of the Pippin into Thunderbolt. They don't have any modern wooden coasters, and they don't really have that many true family coasters. This would be the perfect addition, I think. The second area I could see Kennywood building a new roller coaster is in the former plot of Volcano. Now, some of you might think that you could only fit like a kiddie coaster there. However, we know this is not true because when Lake Compounce removed their Enterprise, an exact clone of Volcano, and what actually replaced the original Volcano, we know that they installed Phobia Fear Coaster, which was a compact thrill coaster. It was a Skyrocket 2 model. Now, Kennywood already has the Skyrocket prototype model, so because of that, I think that they would instead want to go with an SNS 4D freespin. We've never seen anything like this in the greater Pittsburgh area. The closest one is in New Jersey, at Six Flags Great Adventure, but that's over a 5-hour drive, so I think that Kennywood could install this. This wouldn't really take too much to build. They could even theoretically reuse the queue line from Volcano, and maybe even the station. I could see this happening around 2026. The final area I want to talk about that would not involve removing any more rides would be the former location of Paratrooper and Kangaroo. Now, this isn't a very big location, and it can't fit too many rides. However, what I see them adding here is an RMC Raptor clone. This would be a clone of either Railblazer California's Great America, or Wonder Woman and Golden Lasso coaster at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. This would be a compact, thrilling model, and just like most of Kennywood's rides, it would have strong ejector airtime in some areas. This would not involve redoing any paths, and I could even see this as soon as 2022. Next, I want to go over areas that would involve a lot of work and potentially removing some rides. The first plot of land that would involve removing a ride would probably be Raging Rapids. I could see this ride being removed as soon as 2021 even. I could see them removing it this year. It's just unreliable, it takes a lot of money to operate it, it can't operate whenever it's too cold or too hot, which is most of the time, and from what I hear, the theming has just been getting worse and worse over time. When I rode it in 2019, there was barely any theming, and barely any redeeming factors of the ride. I wasn't even getting soaked at all. It just shouldn't stay anymore. It's just a bad idea to keep the ride running, but also, let's go back to its opening. It replaced a classic wooden coaster that a lot of people loved. A classic wooden coaster called Dipper. This ride was removed in the 1980s so they could add Raging Rapids. This was an awful decision. A lot of people got mad at them for this, and it's considered one of their worst decisions in history, even 30 or so years later. So I think that it might be good for them to have the Gravity Group come in and rebuild Dipper and give it some classic PTC trains, potentially with buzz bars, like the ride used to operate with. I don't know how soon the addition would be, though. The plot of Raging Rapids, I mean, it's big, but there would be a lot of trough removing involved in it because of how large the plot is. And I don't even know if Kennywood would want to remove the trough completely, because during Phantom Fright Nights, they have a haunt called Voodoo Bayou that uses that trough as basically a path. So I could see the ride closing in 2021 or 2022, but I just don't see the new coaster coming within the next couple years. The last area I want to talk about is kind of a wild card area. It is over by the train tracks in Kennywood. For those who do not know, Kennywood has a train ride. It used to be called Old Kennywood Railroad. Now it's called The Journey with Thomas, and it's currently being used for the Thomastown area. However, there's a bit of room right by it that theoretically could be used for some kind of out-and-back coaster. They could even make an L-shaped layout that could use the terrain a little bit, or go back behind Racer and Steel Curtain. Now, I do not know when this would come at all. Palace Entertainment hasn't worked with B&M ever, and their parent company, who I do not know how to pronounce the name of, I don't think that they would be willing to work with B&M that soon. This would probably be a B&M hyper, though. So the parent company has worked with B&M and Intamin both in the past. However, they haven't really added B&M since I believe 2012, and they haven't added an Intamin for quite a while at this point. And Palace Entertainment, the company that owns Kennywood, hasn't even worked with Intamin or B&M ever. The only Intamins that operate at their parks were added before purchasing. So I don't see this happening really within the next 5 to 10 years at all. Maybe down the line they could have an Intamin Hyper or something. But I don't really think they need it. It's just a wild card area. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please leave a like, tell me what you think in the comments, and please consider checking out my website where I post articles 3 days a week, and please consider subscribing to this channel. I'm trying to grow the channel a lot, and whatever you can do to help would just be greatly appreciated. Thank you, and goodbye.